The sound of a slow beeping monitor filled the white-walled room. A cold drip of blood sneaked down into my arm. 2 pounds today, and by tomorrow morning, my body would have drained it all, just like it had done for the past 12 days. I lay still, too weak to move, my eyes staring at the ceiling, another pit gone before morning. The nurse whispered, shaking her head. I smiled bitterly. You see this blood I am receiving? It's not ordinary. It's carrying the weight of every secret, every pain and every wicked thing I have done to get here. And now, I want to tell you my story. Maybe not because I want forgiveness. Maybe just so you can understand. Because once upon a time, I was just a poor woman named Tame. I was born and raised in a dusty village in Ogun State. The last child of 6. The one everyone called too stubborn for our own good. But I wasn't stubborn. I just wanted something different. Something more than poverty, pain, and forced marriage. I still remember the evening my life began to break. It was just before sunset. I was outside pounding yam in the courtyard. My hands ached. My blouse clung to my back with sweat. My mother, Iyataye, stood over me, shouting as usual. Is it food you came to pound in this world, or husband you came to marry? I kept pounding. No reply. She didn't need one. You think you are better than your sisters. They are all married and living well. You are almost 35 and still in my house eating my pepper. She didn't know I hadn't eaten since morning. Then came the man, Alhaji Tafik. Rich, fat, smelled of tobacco and arrogance. He was older than my father, but Mama wanted me to marry him because he had money. He brought cartons of noodles, boxes of wrappers, and even a bag of rice. You will never suffer, he said, smiling with rotten teeth. I will open a shop for you. I will take care of your family. All you have to do is say yes. But I couldn't. My body refused. My soul screamed no. So I said it. No. That one word cost me everything. My mother slapped me in front of everyone. You are mad. You are possessed. You want to disgrace us. My father didn't even raise his head. He just kept on chewing his bitter cola like I didn't exist. That night, I was locked in the yam barn without food. I heard them outside, arguing. My mother crying fake tears. I cried too, but not because I was sorry. I cried because I was lonely. From that day, I became a stranger in my own house. I wasn't allowed to join them at the table. I cooked, swept, fetched water, yet I was invincible. My name became the useless one. My own sister mocked me one morning, saying, even goats they marry for this village, but they do shakara. During a naming ceremony, I was made to serve food to girls who used to call me auntie, now all married. They whispered as I passed one day, she's cursed. She rejected Halaji. What is she looking for again? Even our pastor's wife cornered me after church one day. My dear, you need deliverance. Refusing your destiny is rebellion. That's why you are suffering, she said. I started selling roasted corn in the markets just to have small change, but Mama collected all the money, saying I'd owed her my life. I still remember the day I saw Alaji again, this time with a 16-year-old girl. That same evening, I heard drums. They were celebrating their engagement. My mother cried in the yard, screaming, it should have been towing my daughter. She has caused us. Something broke inside of me that night. I sat behind our hut, my body full of bruises, my stomach empty. I looked up at the sky and whispered, God, if you are there, help me leave. I will take anything. I just want to be free. But no help came. Not the next day, not the next month. Then came the tailoring opportunity. A rich visitor from Lagos announced she would sponsor one girl from the village to learn work in the city. I stood up with shaky hope, but before I could speak, Mama shouted from the back, "Not her! Pick another child. She's a disgrace." I smiled as tears rolled down. I had no voice in my own life. That night, I packed my things, a wrapper, a nylon bag, and the little coins I had hidden under my mat. I walked out of that compound before the rooster crowed. No goodbye, no blessings, just me and the dark bush path. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew I wasn't staying. People say Lagos is a land of gold, but what they don't tell us is gold can burn, and in that fire I was about to be reborn. When I ran away from my village, I thought Lagos would give me a fresh start. I thought I would find peace, maybe even joy. But Lagos was not soft. Lagos is like a frying pan that turns your skin black before it cooks your heart. I got to Mushin with nothing but a nylon bag. With few of my clothes, I quickly changed in a small restroom before going in search for Bisola, a girl I met once during a wedding in my village. We spoke. She agreed to take me in and gave me her address, but a tiny one-room apartment was already full. 3 girls lived there, Bisola, Shade, and Peace. They let me stay near the door. No mattress, just wrapper on the cold floor. But I was grateful. At least I had a roof over my head. Bisola helped me get a job with a woman called Madame Rose, an ajo collector. Ajo is the daily contribution. We go from shop to shop, collecting 50 naira, 100 naira, and sometimes 200 from traders. At the end of the month, we give them their total savings and minus our commission. We help them keep money, but they treat us like trash. Madame Rose gave me a small black record book, calculator, and a smile that had no kindness in it. "Don't lose money," she said. "Don't argue with customers, and remember, your salary is only 9,000 naira monthly. If you like, faint." I laughed. I thought she was joking, but it wasn't a joke. The first day I walked from Ojuwoye market to Itire, carrying my bag and book under the hot Lagos sun. I wore flat slippers. My feet were already hurting before 11 a.m. A pepper seller shouted at me, "Auntie, now today be your first time. You dey walk like snail, make you quick jare." Another woman selling tomatoes hissed, "No disturb me, I know they do today abeg." I smiled and said thank you ma. I walked away. 1 week later, a woman named Sister Chinwe, who sold lace material, embarrassed me in front of a full shop. "This your yeye company na thief una be. I don't give una 6,000 naira last month. Una return 5,200. Una don't chop my 800 naira. I don't work in the office ma," I said gently. People laughed. I smiled. But behind the building, I cried. 3 weeks later, a market boy slapped my book from my hand. He laughed with his friends. They mocked my clothes, my dry lips, and my voice. "See her neck like broomstick," he said. I didn't say a word. I just picked my book and walked away. The tears came later in the toilet of Obuka where no one could see me. Home was no better. I rented my own apartment, a face me I face you compound. 10 rooms, 1 toilet, 1 bathroom, 1 small corridor. If I wanted to bathe in the morning, I had to wake up by 4 a.m. or join the long queue. Sometimes men will even knock on the bathroom door shouting, "You dey use 1 hour inside, are you washing your sins?" The kitchen was shared too. Fights broke out over matches, missing oil, even stolen Maggie. I kept quiet. I minded my business. One evening, I came home after collecting ajo all day. My back was sweating, my legs shaking. My body was aching. The sun had roasted me. My slippers were broken that day. As I reached the corridor, I saw our landlord, Pa Sunday, waiting with his towel tied around his waist. "Towing, you are owing 2 months. I need that money this weekend." "Sir, I just need a few more days," I said. "Few days? You think this is your father's house? I would throw your load outside." The neighbors opened their doors. "Now who landlord dey shout for again?" "Na that ajo girl wey dey do shakara," Sam said. I entered the room without a word. I didn't cry that time. I just sat on the floor and looked at my dry palms. And to make things worse, Madam Rose had no mercy. 1 month, I fell sick. I missed 1 day at work. The next salary, I saw 1,000 missing. I deducted for absence, she said. "But Ma, I was sick." "And how is that my business?" she said. "You are here to work and not fall sick." I felt like dying, but still, I survived. There were days I didn't eat, days I had to beg conductors because I couldn't afford my own fare. One Sunday, while drinking garri and granuts, I whispered, "Is this my life?" I thought Lagos would be better than my village, but it felt like I jumped from fire into boiling oil. Still, I kept moving. I kept collecting ajo. I kept walking from shop to shop like a ghost in slippers. I didn't know I was walking straight into something darker, a deeper trap. The next day, I didn't go to work. I got tired. I looked back at all the troubles I went through with my mother in the village, all the beatings, the hunger, and the rejection from my siblings. Then I remembered the suffering I faced with that daily contribution job that brought nothing but pain and insults. I said to myself, enough is enough. I must become better. No more being the girl that people push around. I needed money, I needed power, and I needed respect. I decided to take a bold step. I dressed up and went to see Mama Terry, a well-known money lender in Moshi. Everyone feared her. She was rich, very rich. I wanted to be like her. When I got to her shop, I met her outside, standing beside a car, about to drive out. "Good morning, Ma," I greeted. She looked at me from head to toe. How may I help you?" "Please, Ma, I need a loan," I said. She looked at me again from head to toe. "What are you bringing as a collateral?" I looked around. I had nothing. No phone, no jewelry, not even a land to my name. I told her I would pay back double. She laughed like thunder. "You think I reached this level by playing games? Do I look like a fool to you?" "Please, Ma, I really need this loan." She eased, entered her car, and drove out. At that moment, I felt so bad. It felt like the world was crumbling right down on me. As I walked back home that day, ashamed, empty, and broken, something inside me snapped. Frustration dragged me like a heavy chain. Desperation choked me. I was tired. I was angry. I was tired of begging, tired of hoping, tired of watching others win while I kept losing. Then I remembered something. Months ago, I had overheard some market women whispering about a man, an herbalist. They said his name was Agbaje, that he was powerful, fearsome, but they swore his powers worked. At that point, I didn't care what it would cost me. I was ready to risk it all. I asked questions. I made secret inquiries. People looked at me strangely when I mentioned his name, but eventually someone pointed me to a bush path outside town. The road was quiet, airy. My legs were trembling as I approached the shrine, but I was done being afraid. When I saw him, an old terrifying man, with red beads and chalk all over his face, my voice still didn't shake. I told him everything. Baba, I want riches. I want power. I want people to fear me. I am tired of begging. I want my own business. I want to be heard. Help me. He looked into my eyes without blinking. Then he smiled. He gave me something to eat, a strange substance wrapped in black leaves. I didn't ask questions. I was too desperate. I ate it. Then he said the words that sealed my fate. From today, whatever you say shall be final. People will obey your word, but never misuse it, unless you want to dig your own grave. I did not fully understand. I just nodded. I thought this was the beginning of my victory, but I had no idea I was planting the seed of destruction. The next morning, I got up early and went to the market. I looked at the stores and shops, and I felt something rise inside me. Confidence, power. I told myself, you will start your own agile business today. I printed a paper with my name and number on it and told people I was now collecting daily savings. People were skeptical at first, but somehow they believed me. That was the charm. My very first client was a humble boy in his 20s who was serving his oga in the foodstuff business. The boy had been saving his monthly stipend with me. 5,000 naira here, 10,000 naira there. By the end of 11 months, he had 300,000 naira. 1 month to his freedom, his oga had planned to open a shop for him, and I did something heartless. I went behind his back and told his boss that the boy was stealing and giving me the money to keep. The man didn't even ask questions. He sacked the boy that same day. The boy came to my house crying. Auntie Toyin, please, I saved 300,000 with you. That's my whole hope. Please, give me. I looked him in the eyes and said, I don't understand. I don't know what you're talking about. Did you give me money? Where's your evidence? Please, leave my compound. He fell on his knees and cried. I turned my back on him. His last words haunted me a bit. It will never be well with you. I laughed. I ignored him. My eyes were set on wealth. Within a few weeks, I owned a big shop. Women in the market began calling me Madam Major. Everyone was saving their money with me. But no matter what they saved, I always found a way to deny ever collecting anything. It was easy. They trusted me blindly, and the charms was working. Soon, I started mingling with the big market women, Mama Ebo, Sister Clara, Alhaja Bintu. I dressed well. I bought gold. I stopped walking. I started using tricycles and later bought a second-hand car. Then I met Tina, a businesswoman from Ikeja, at one women's empowerment seminar. She looked rich, confident, different. We clicked. One day, Tina came to visit me in my one-room and parlor apartment. We were gisting when she asked me, Tony, are you really content with this small money? I looked at her confused. She smiled. There's a man in India, she said. If you go through him, you will not only be rich, You will control people. Men will serve you. You will live like a queen. At first, I laughed, but deep inside me, I was curious. I had already tasted small power, but greed was opening its mouth wider. That night, I couldn't sleep. I wanted more. That was when I made the biggest decision of my life, to follow Tina's lead, to go beyond charms into the strange lands of power. But what I did not know was that I was not just climbing the ladder of wealth. I was dancing into the very mouth of destruction.